Hey, I'm Denise Rosanne and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I wanted to talk about self-love strategies for 2020. So we're a couple of months into the new year now, and you might be wanting this to be a year that you learn to love yourself and accept yourself more. I know that I am always seeking to learn to love myself more every year, because the more that I learn to accept who I am and to find value in who I am, the better my life has become. And I've gone from hating myself and just absolutely hating life to accepting myself, accepting my flaws, and feeling worthy of all the good things happening in my life. And I feel like that's something that can make all of our lives better. So if you're excited to learn how to love yourself more in 2020, keep watching. So self-love is an ongoing journey. It's not something that you do once and you're done with. It's kind of like washing the dishes. Like, you always have to keep doing it, right? Well, I guess I wouldn't want it to sound like as much work as washing the dishes, but it's this, in a sense, it's a journey. It's not a destination, right? So even as I'm someone who does love themselves very much, it's something that I have to practice daily. And every year I grow into more and more self-love with myself. So I say that first just to say, have patience with yourself and be gentle with yourself, and don't expect yourself to go from, really disliking yourself to loving every aspect of yourself overnight, because it doesn't happen like that. It took me years for me to get to this place just by taking small steps forward. So have patience and be gentle with yourself on the journey, because of course we're trying to love ourselves, not hate ourselves. So part of that is having compassion for yourself and allowing yourself the time it takes to get to where you want to go. So the first way you can start loving yourself more in 2020 is to give up the idea of perfection. Okay, do I have any other recovering perfectionists out there? Because I know that I definitely am one. I used to think that in order to be lovable, I had to be perfect, and that led to me trying to get perfect grades, trying to be the perfect weight, trying to have the perfect hair. I mean, you name it. I was trying to be perfect, but guess what? I couldn't be perfect. And so I always felt like there was something wrong with me, like I wasn't worthy because I couldn't get to that ideal. I couldn't be perfect. Well, spoiler alert, you don't have to be perfect to be lovable, okay? That is a misconception. We're all brought up with this idea, like we see perfect celebrities on TV, we see couples on TV who have the perfect relationship, right? They never fight, they never go to bed angry, right? And all of these things where we think we have to be that in order to be lovable. But the truth is, and the truth that changed my life, is that you are lovable as you are, with your imperfections, with the things that maybe you don't like about yourself, right? So even though I'm not the perfect weight, I don't have the perfect hair, and I don't really get grades anymore, but if I was, I'm sure they wouldn't be perfect. But I can still love myself because I've just let go of that idea of needing to be perfect. So that is a really great way that you can start loving yourself more this year, is just stop expecting perfection from yourself in whatever way, whether it be at work, with family, looks, health, exercise. Like, all of those areas can be areas where we try to be perfect. So just let it go and let good enough be good enough. The second way you can love yourself more this year is take care of yourself. So this one might sound kind of obvious, but ask yourself, are you really taking time to make sure that all your needs are met emotionally, spiritually, physically, socially, financially? Are you making sure that you're being taken care of in all those areas? We as women, often we do so much for other people in our lives, and I used to do this like to the extreme, and we just totally ignore ourselves because we feel like we're not worthy of that attention, or we're waiting for somebody else to give it to us. And I'm telling you, part of self-love is giving that attention to yourself, is making the commitment to put your own needs first, to make taking care of yourself a non-negotiable priority. So just look at all the areas of your life and see how you're doing. Are there ways that you need to take care of yourself? Like, socially, do you need to go out with friends more? Physically, do you need to start eating a little better or making movement a part of your life? Spiritually, do you need to set a time to meditate or read spiritually encouraging books? Whatever it is for you, make sure that you're making it a daily habit to take care of yourself and to value yourself, because self-love is an action, not a place. It's a verb, not a noun. The third way you can practice more self-love this year is to start saying positive affirmations. So a lot of self-love for me has been changing that voice in my head from a constantly negative one to a mostly positive one. I don't say all positive because of course I still have negative thoughts about myself sometimes, but they're much, much less frequent nowadays. And that didn't happen by accident. That didn't just happen overnight. It happened because I made a conscious decision to start saying positive things to myself, like just brainwashing myself with positive affirmations. Things like, I'm good enough, I'm worthy, I'm talented, I'm loved, I'm enough as I am, it's okay to not be perfect, it's okay to make a mistake, I forgive myself for that. And just like all day long, like encouraging yourself, saying, it's okay, I love you, I'm here for you, it's all right, you're still wonderful, it's okay that you embarrass yourself, I still love you. And just turning that negative voice around and being more aware of what the voice in your head is saying. That's kind of the first step, actually, is just listening to what am I saying to myself throughout the day? What am I saying to myself when I make a mistake? What am I saying to myself when I get triggered about something from my past? Like, what are the words I'm using for myself? And then when you notice yourself using something like saying, I'm so fat, I'm so stupid, then replace it with something positive. I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm talented, and just keep doing that until it becomes just like routine for you, that's what your mind goes to, not the negative stuff. So your mind can be trained in either way, right? Louise Hay often says in You Can Heal Your Life, we've trained our minds to be negative, and just like we've done that, we can train them to be positive, but it takes time. You didn't develop all these negative thoughts about yourself overnight, and they won't go away overnight. And just like in the same way, you won't overnight suddenly change your brain from positive to negative. That being said, it's totally possible. It just takes a little bit of focus and practice. That's all. So find some positive affirmations for yourself. Start saying them to yourself. Start putting them all around your house and just start noticing what that voice in your head is saying and replacing those negative thoughts with nice, positive, loving ones. Another way that I have also learned to change my self-talk in my head is the word should. This is also something I learned from Louise Hay and other teachers as well. But notice how often you're saying the word should and replace it with something more loving, because the word should makes it sound like you did something wrong, like you're in the wrong. I should make the bed. I should clean the kitchen. I should call that person back, right? And it makes you feel so bad inside when you say, hey, maybe it'd be a good idea to make the bed. I think I'd like to clean the kitchen. Maybe I'll call that person back, right? And that's such a more loving way to talk to yourself and saying, I should do this, I should do this, I should do this. And then all day long, you're saying to yourself, I'm not doing enough, I'm not being enough, I'm not right. So honestly, the more that you can notice that you're saying the word should and replace it with something else like could or maybe or I'd like to, something else instead of the word should, that will really help change your self-talk to more positive. And it's just a really small word that you can try and remove from your vocabulary. I have found this one to be a little challenging. I'm still working on it because I, started really noticing whenever I'm saying should, and now I notice it, but it still comes up quite a bit. So I'm continuing to learn to replace that word because it's just so ingrained in our vocabulary. But I really don't like it very much. Like, I'm with Louise Hay on that. I think should is a kind of a damaging word. And if you're saying I should all day long, it just makes you feel bad about yourself. So for 2020, as best you can, start noticing and stop saying the word should. Another way that you can love yourself in 2020 is forgive yourself for the past. This has been such a huge breakthrough for me, not only on self-love, but also for manifesting the life that I want. For manifesting love, money, health, all of those things have required me to forgive the past. And the reason that you need to do this is because it allows you to energetically separate yourself from the past and create a new life for yourself. So if you are not forgiving the past, if you're not consciously being aware of what happened in the past and how you can move forward from that, then you're going to keep replaying it and creating it in your life, because our thoughts are creative, obviously, and we know that whatever we're thinking is what we're creating. Go over some of the things that are most painful for you in the past and do a forgiveness ritual for that. I made a whole other video on how I do my forgiveness practice, so I'll link that up there. But yeah, just, it sounds simple, but I promise you it makes a huge difference, and it will also help you manifest faster. Like if you're trying to manifest money, something I would highly recommend is going through and forgiving all your old money stories and things that happened to you around money, and that will really help energetically open yourself to more love and money. And in the same way, if you're trying to love yourself more this year, go back and forgive yourself or forgive the people who made you feel unlovable, and that opens the gates for you to feel worthy and lovable and wonderful, because you are. Another great way to love yourself more this year is to always be on your own side. So this is an important part of self-love and just leading a life full of love for yourself and acceptance for yourself. I don't know if I can speak for everyone on this, but I know in the past when I would make a mistake or something would go wrong, I would always get so down on myself. I would be so quick to criticize, to hate on myself, to say all the reasons why I'm stupid or ugly or wrong or untalented or whatever, right? That's where I would immediately go. But if you notice, when other people make a mistake, I don't immediately go to that place. I can't speak for you, but personally, I'm much more forgiving when it comes to other people, or at least I used to be. Now I'm much more forgiving to myself as well. So just be on your own side. Like if you make a mistake, it's okay. Just say it's okay. Like imagine yourself as a tiny child, and what would you say to that child if they made a mistake, if they spilled spaghetti on the floor, they embarrassed themselves in front of their friends? You wouldn't say, oh, you're such a horrible child, I hate you, you're terrible. You wouldn't say that. You would say, it's okay, I love you, we all make mistakes, it's all right, you're still worthy, it'll be better tomorrow. All of those things. And those are the things we still need to hear as adults, and you need to hear it most of all from yourself. So be on your own side. When bad stuff happens, take care of yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. Forgive yourself. Don't expect yourself to be perfect. Be your own best friend. And when you can get to that place where you feel like your own best friend, it's amazing, because so much of life is change and nothing in life is guaranteed. And we all know that the people in our lives are eventually not going to be in our lives anymore, right? But the one person who will always be with you during this earthly journey is you. And so if you can be your own best friend, then you're never going to be alone in this world, because yeah, you might feel lonely sometimes, but still at the end of the day, you have yourself to lean on. And I think that that is just such an amazing place to be. And the last way I want to say that you can love yourself more in 2020 is celebrate the tiny wins and make good enough okay, okay? So this goes back to not expecting perfection of yourself. So often I think that we have to do like amazing things for us to be worthy or worth celebrating, right? Get the huge promotion or have the baby or get married or whatever, right? But what about all those tiny wins? Like, did you get up and 5 minutes early today? Did you go for a walk after work today when you've been wanting to start exercising more? Did you like read a really good book, or you read a book this week and that's exciting because you've been wanting to read more? Celebrate the tiny wins. Like, you don't have to be perfect to be worth celebrating and honoring and loving. The big stuff is great, but it only happens once in a while. That doesn't mean that the other stuff in between isn't as important or wonderful or worth celebrating. So find tiny ways to celebrate yourself and be okay with just being good enough. Let go of having to be perfect, and just good enough is okay. It's all right. I'm giving you permission. It's okay to just be good enough. It's wonderful. All right, friends, so those are my top tips on how you can love yourself more in 2020. I hope that was helpful. And also, don't feel like you have to implement all of those. That's a lot of tips. Like, just pick one or two and see how it goes. Maybe you can switch it out halfway through the year, whatever. Don't pressure yourself. Have patience with yourself. It's all about loving yourself, not being harsh on yourself, not having unrealistically high expectations. It's about being gentle, loving, compassionate to the beautiful, unique, talented, wonderful, lovable being that you are, okay? So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave me a like and a comment down below. And also, while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe as well so you don't miss any of my future videos on manifestation and self-love. So I'd love to have you here to join me. And until then, I will see you guys in my next video. Have a great day. Bye.